versions of ice, and that's with the safety.
Oh, you gotta love it. Yeah, I know. Oh, wow. That's the biggest one yet. Big jumbo perch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bro Roadshow. This is everything ice on this episode. So we have people from around the ice belt, and we're going to be talking about ice fishing, what's going on right now. But first, I got to thank my sponsors, Chesterburg Toyota. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Chesterburg Toyota has a state-of-the-art, the first Toyota dealership in the whole, I want to say, United States, and they always have hot coffee there. So stop in and say hi to Brian and the crew. Great people, and if you're looking for a legendary truck or need to get something fixed, check out their state-of-the-art facility. Also, don't forget to go to Bemidji Sports Center, which is really cool. Bemidji Sports Center makes some cool rides. They have side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and tricked-out sleds. And if you want to check out what they got, definitely stop in, and Shane can make sure you have a wicked ice ride. Also, visit Bemidji. Talk to Brady and the bunch. If you're coming to Bemidji, if you're going to be anywhere around Bemidji, go to Visit Bemidji, and they will set you up with places to stay. Make sure to check them out. Really cool people, and they're also donating prizes, so really nice to see. But before we bring on my host, I want to tell you, Nick Cox from Razor Augers is on the show tonight, and he's giving away an auger, so pretty cool. And shortly thereafter, we have Matt, owner of Amped Outdoors. He's going to be here, so it's really cool to have such great guests. And then we'll also bring on Justin Safa, and he's from the UP, and he's got some giant fish up there, and he has a guide service up there, but he's a Humminbird, St. Croix, and Northland, loves Northland too, so definitely do that. But without any further ado, could you please bring on my co-host, Sam Larsen, who's award-winning painter, and he designs lures for Northland Tackle, and he does a little bit of everything and shoots big bucks too. And also Nick Cox at the same time. How you doing, Sam?
Good. How are you?
And Nick, how's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
Well, Nick had quite a schedule there. He was busy with the shows and probably chomping to get on the ice. And Sam, how's the ice holding up in your area in Bemidji there?
Yeah, so we've been warming up. Sure, as people have been tuning in online, Red had a big crack open up on it. Some things have been shaken up a little bit, but I think the smaller lakes are holding strong still. But it's important to check everywhere you go because we have had those unseasonably warm temps. But it got a little bit colder at the end of this week, so hopefully that'll start healing and we'll get back to some good safe ice fishing.
And Nick, are you ready to razor some holes? You've been busy and you've been working at shows selling lots of razor, and I see more orange boxes leaving the building than anything else at every show I've been to. So tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, we've been super busy at all the shows. We're just going down. We just got back from the Wisconsin Ice Fishing Expo, which was a hoot. We had a great time. I see Jeff Gittner is in here today. I got a chance to meet him, and he picked up an auger for himself at the show.
You got a picture of that?
Through one of our dealers. I do actually have a picture of that. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Well, and I heard that show was amazingly busy. It was so busy. It was unbelievable. So there, look at that. Jeff Ginter, he is going to razor some holes. So you got a chance to that he's a guide client, but he doesn't need me. He could guide me. He's a really good angler. And but him and Blake are probably chomping at the bit to drill some holes. So sounds good. And maybe later this week, if you can make it up here, Nick, we got to get out and we got to razor some holes together.
I'm ready for it.
Awesome. So, Sam, I heard Bemidji blew open.
Yeah, I haven't been up to actually see what the north end looked like there, but it's been warm up here. Things have been changing. I was down at a family Christmas this weekend in the Nisswa area, and Hole in the Day Bay is wide open on Gull Lake. Kind of made me wish I would have brought my boat down there. There's ducks flying around, so definitely a weird year going on.
Wow, that's it's different, but it's different every parallel you go to, because I was on Red Lake today, and we had about 10 to 11 inches of ice. And, of course, that southwestern corridor had a crack that opened up the whole area. So we went on the east side. Everything was sealed, everything solid, and there's a lot of ice there. I was surprised. You hear doom and gloom till you get there. But I went out of the east side, and they still had plenty of parking. So if anybody's going to go there, yeah, definitely check that out. And I think I have something in my mug. Oh, this. Oh, yeah. Red Lake walleyes. And these things are really big. I mean, they're only 16 and a halves, but they're super fat. And it's amazing. They've got a lot of food there. I mean, look at how fat these things are here. You can just see it. Amazing. So you know what's for supper tonight, right there. Good to see what's going on, and everybody out there seems to be catching them. I see people running, and one of the biggest tricks was the iFish Pro. If we could bring that back there, is jigging with spoons, and you'll see that iFish Pro kept me busy too. So that live minnow on a Gamakatsu red hook and a split shot was hot. And big minnows, you'd miss them. You just put a small minnow on there. You could see some of them are pretty round. Beautiful fish. The shot doesn't show what they really are. You're allowed 1/17. Tons of fish that touch or go a little over. So make sure you got a bump board if you go to Red Lake. And surprisingly enough, your shallower lakes and small lakes are holding on really good. And I'm sure that you see that. So Sam, what's the prize pack tonight?
Yes, we got the prize pack like always. In there, we're gonna have a bunch of Bro's favorite Northland tackle, Bro Bug spoons, new buckshots, some of the new Super Glow stuff, along with some swag from Visit Bemidji. We got Paul and Babe, and then of course the Bro Roadshow mug and hat, and finally Nick from Razor is gonna throw in
I'm gonna throw in a 6-inch synthetic ultra. Hook it up to a drill and start razoring some holes.
Yep. That's awesome, and that's the one that's got wings, the patented wings.
The ice wings, yep. So
fantastic!
It's going to be great.
So
that's a really comment and share, and that'll get you entered in to win that giveaway. Like, comment, and share, and we'll be picking out a winner towards the end of the show here.
So Sam and Northland's got a giveaway too online, don't they?
Yep. Make sure to check it out. It's on our website. We have a stocking stuffer giveaway. I can't remember. I think it's going through the end of this week for sure, if not the end of next week. But you can sign up. We're giving away a $500 tackle pack for the holiday season, so it's a pretty good deal. All you have to do is enter some email information to get signed up for that. So make sure to check out our website.
Well, that's awesome. And Nick, we got to be hitting ice here soon. Come up, fish with Sam and I, the Northland bunch, when you get a chance. I know you got to keep putting Razor out there. Everybody's got such a busy schedule, but we have ice. And tomorrow it's going to be close to 50 degrees up here, so we're really going to check it out. But we've been getting crisp at night. We've been in those teens and low 20s, and it's really helped. But I was surprised. Red Lake makes its own ice or something up there. It's unbelievable. But we still have 4 or 5 inches of ice on all of the shallow lakes around here, maybe more, but I don't want to tell you that. And but so it's holding on. So right now, I will definitely thanks for coming out, Nick, and maybe we'll see you later this week. And everybody watch on our social platforms. We'll definitely get some picture razoring some holes with those new wings. Can't wait. Thanks for coming on, Nick. Thanks for
having me. Appreciate it. It's been a good season on the Bro Road Show.
That's awesome, and this has been a good season, and we go limited amount of time dates because we want to talk about what we think is pertinent and then move on and go fishing. And then we'll be back in the spring. But so up next, coming up is Matt from Amped Outdoors. And this guy has a chart on his site, and he knows what works in everything from every battery to how long they last. And this chart is online. So Amped Outdoors really rocks it. They are the Information Society of batteries, and they will help you. But, Brooke, please bring on Matt. Good to see you, Matt.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome.
Yeah. Oh, we're glad to have you because we don't have any juice without you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've got plenty of juice here.
Yeah, and so could you tell people what you have there from for sizes? Because I have one right here. I have this little 15 amp hour 12 volt, and this thing's light. It's a third the weight of the other batteries. And so what do you got on the table there? Are you selling?
Yeah, I got the full array here in front of me of all of our ice fishing batteries. Obviously, we carry a larger selection for open water, but this is definitely the largest selection. Anywhere from our real small 2-pound, 7.5 amp hour battery for your traditional flashers, all the way up to our big 48 amp hour battery for your massive forward facing sonars that are out there today. We're finding a lot of people power demands and needs are higher than ever before, as you want your stuff to last a long time. Also, we're seeing more and more people carrying larger screens out in the ice with them.
Well, and I've had people comment on how much information you have available, and it's a lot of work to compile that, but that's really appreciated out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you go to our website, that operating time chart is really nice. We have those up in a lot of our retail stores as well, but to help you kind of pair up the right battery for, really for your needs based on how you're using it.
So Matt, you talked about the necessity to have power on some of these bigger packages. Give an example of what you would run for maybe like a smaller setup, like a Helix 7 with just a transducer versus what you would run with like a Helix 9 bundle with Mega Live.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So bro, you showed that 15 amp hour guy. That's a 3-pound battery. That's what I'm going to recommend for anybody running like that Helix 5 or 7. On a Helix 7, you're looking at about 20 plus hours of operation with something like that. So it's a really good, 15 amp hour. It'll work in any flasher. It'll work in, any of your units, 5 inch, 7 inches. And then, if you're getting up into live sonar, that's where we kind of excel. We've got quite a few options from the 20 amp hour, 30 amp hour. I know, bro, you're running the 32 amp hour with your Helix forward-facing sonar system all the way up to 48 amp hour battery. And, a lot of these are still small, right? Real small form factor, nothing that big. I mean, this weighs in at about 4 pounds all the way up to our 48 amp hour battery that weighs in at just shy of 7 pounds. But these will give you, minimum, full day on a 20 to 30 amp hour battery. And then we're talking multiple days when you're getting all the way up to like 32 and 48 amp hour battery.
Yeah, I never go dead on that 32. And what I like on those is you've got the charger, and then the charger, the power, the spade clips go on top of the charger, but you just plug and unplug. So Matt's got chargers too.
Yep, absolutely. That's an important piece when you're buying a lithium battery. There's so many variances out there, different voltage batteries. So when you get into our larger, like 32 and 48 amp hour battery, we include a charger with those because they're a higher voltage product. And then all of our other smaller batteries, we do carry that charger. So it's important to make sure you get the right charger based on the battery that you're buying. So that way you can guarantee a full charge every time you go out.
That's awesome. That 32 fits perfect in the Humminbird ice pack. And I just love having it in there. But that 48, I mean, that's not going to fit in a lot of stuff. But what are those? Who's buying that? Is that for two electronics or?
Yeah, no, the 48 amp hour is pretty common. There's so many aftermarket shuttles out there today. So we've kind of made that one to fit all your aftermarket shuttles. People will use them for, for lighting and other, 12 volt accessories. But yeah, like you said, the 32 amp hour is definitely going to be the biggest. And that's the highest capacity battery that'll fit in any of your stock Humminbird shuttles. Mm-hmm. So 32 amp hour, that's a 14.6 volt battery. And then that 48, like I said, aftermarket shuttles, people are really bringing larger screens out in the ice. We've seen a lot of 10 inch and 12 inch screens. And if you want a battery that's going to last you 2 to 3 days, without having to worry about charging it throughout the go.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Sam knows we went from that 7, 8, 9, and then, let's take it off the boat. So I've actually brought the 12s and then the 15s. And after a while, you're like, I'm going back to the 9. This is getting heavy to carry around, and kind of bulky. So it's nice. You got the big screen. You can see it from across the lake. But also, Matt, for open water, and people should know this, Amped has open water batteries. And what do you offer?
Yeah, a very wide range of open water batteries. I mean, whether you're in a kayak, because we're seeing kayak fishing really taking off, anywhere from 12 volt 60 to 160 amp hours. So you're talking batteries that'll last you twice as long as your biggest AGM battery in a real small form factor. And then we also specialize in 24 and 36 volt systems. For those of you that have, those on your boats, you can replace 2 to 3 batteries with one single battery and get the same amount of operating time, if not longer, run times in your boat with just a single battery.
There you go, Sam, for your bass boat, because he's putting together a monster machine, and he won last year on a smaller boat. So I can't wait to see what he does this year.
We're gonna need some amperage in the new one. I got some new stuff coming, so I'm gonna have to talk with Matt and order
yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so, Matt, is the rumor true? You have a giveaway for the Bro Roadshow today.
Yeah, absolutely. So our top selling battery, and this is kind of a universal one. Now you're going to use that in your flashers or anything like that, but 30 amp hour battery, it's something that weighs in at about 6 pounds. And if you could use that to power your lights for a weekend out on the ice, or you can put it in a lot of your forward facing sonar units. But we got that 30 amp hour battery that we're going to be giving away, and we'll include that charger with it as well.
That's fantastic. So if someone hooked that up, say, to a Helix 9 on the Mega Bundle, how long would that last, do you think?
30 amp hour battery with a 9-inch screen, you're looking upwards to about 18 hours of operation. So it's something that should give you at least, you'll get a full day out of it, if not 2.
That's fantastic. And you know what? There's nothing better than having good batteries, because I know somebody that had a bad battery, and he's definitely going to get amped. I bumped into out on Red Lake today. And that there's nothing that can ruin your trip faster than that. Don't you agree, Sam?
For sure. Hey, Matt, what about charging? Do these lithiums charge up pretty quick, or?
Yeah, that's one big advantage of lithium. The smallest charger we carry is a 3 amp charger, and those are pretty much universal for all of our batteries from 7.5 to 30 amp hours. And then our larger batteries, the 32 and the 48 amp hour batteries, we include a 5 to 6 amp charger. So everything that we have with our chargers will easily charge overnight. Even if you run late in the evening, you need to have that charged up by morning. The chargers that we provide should have no problem getting those powered up for you the next morning.
We had some great compliments here on the show, people that have dealt with you, and they say what I say. You actually answer the phone, or there's somebody there, there's a human being, and obviously you can't all the time because you're so busy, but at least you got the customer service, and that is unbelievable. That's so great, and people love that when they know there's someone there, and you're relatively local. You're not far from where we're at.
Nope. Yeah, we're based out of Hudson, Wisconsin. And I tell you what, that support team that we have, they do a fantastic job. It's not just myself answering a lot of these, but we've got an amazing support staff here in the office, and also people who help represent our, company, kind of like, you out in the road, talking to people out in the ice. And that's our goal, is just to educate you. And yeah, it is busy this time of year, but I'll tell you what, if we can't, answer that phone call from you, we're going to get back to you as soon as possible and make sure you're taken care of.
That's fantastic. Do you got plenty of batteries left to supply people for this winter?
Yes. Yeah, we've got a lot of batteries. Demand has increased every single year. So, we take that into mind. We stock pretty heavily. I mean, we sell year round, so we got to make sure that we have plenty of stock for everybody. And, retailers, they just stocked up again this week, I know, for the big holiday push. So you can definitely find our products at a lot of retailers, but ampedoutdoors.com, we've got everything in stock. We're ready to ship same business day.
And there's 2 quick questions here I got to ask you. Someone wants to replace their lead acid battery in their 4-wheeler. Would you recommend one of your batteries as a starter? And then the other question is, does Amped offer a voltage gauge?
Yeah, so we don't offer a starting battery for ATV. There are a couple of lithiums out there. It's just not a reliable product for starting applications, especially in extreme cold conditions. I recommend just get a really good quality AGM battery.
Okay.
Yeah, get a good quality AGM battery. That'll keep you going, and just make sure that you keep those well maintained. As far as gauges go, so, a lot of your units, like your Helix units, Gen 3 and newer 7 inches and larger, will have a gauge built into them. We don't have them built specifically into the battery themselves. Our larger batteries do have Bluetooth built into them. So you can monitor your batteries to your phone, which is very convenient.
Sam, sounds like we got to get you hooked up on this. And Matt, I know you're a super busy guy. We really appreciate you stopping on the show tonight. And also, we'll see you up here fishing because we have our annual trip. So looking forward to that. Thanks for coming out and thanks for the giveaway.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for having me, and everyone have a safe and fun first ice.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. And our next guest, Sam, he's on Giant Fish, is Justin Sofa, and he's a St. Croix Humminbird pro, also loves Northland tackle, and he catches big fish. I seen it firsthand. Brooke, please bring on Justin Sofa.
How you guys doing?
How you doing? Did you like that intro?
Yeah, thanks.
But truly, Sam, you're going to have to go up there and check this out. This guy is he's wired on some really big fish.
I was checking out his Instagram, and I was getting a little jealous of all those big fish pictures he's got there.
Yeah, there's definitely some big fish.
Look at that thing. Holy cow. Oh, that's right. I'm no stranger. I've been up there. I tell you, he's got him wired, and Heather too. That fish was the size of a walleye right there.
Yeah,
that's so Justin, tell people about your guide service here.
We're just a full service crew. I mean, all you have to do is show up with something to eat and drink, and we take care of the rest. We're out there 7 days a week, so we're usually on them pretty good. And go ahead.
Go ahead.
Usually it's kind of one of those deals where you kind of wait them out because those fish don't really school up like they do in the Dakotas. They'll travel in the males will travel in small wolf packs. The females kind of pair up and just kind of cruise around eating wigglers. I know we had a lot of success with the Brobug spoon last year. It just kind of had that wiggler shape, which is what those fish are eating in there. And I know we actually picked up a couple tricks from you when you came and fished with me for hooking them wigglers on there, and we took it and ran with it, and it was pretty successful.
I think Sam likes that idea.
I think I know what you're talking about. For hooking the waxies up, your crown of waxies.
Well, no, they got different bait there. They got wigglers. And Justin, could you explain what wigglers are to everybody?
Wigglers are a mayfly larva. So they live around, crawl around in the mud, which is why we target the mud flats versus the weeds. A lot of those perch anglers, they come up and are like, oh, we fishing weed edges. I'm like, well, you might be able to get some there, but really the bigger fish are on those deep mud flats. They just kind of cruise around with their bellies in the mud, and you'll see late in the year when those fish are really starting to feed before kind of in that pre-spawn stage, their bellies will actually have mud on them. They're just so full and just lurching down in the mud. It's pretty cool.
Good deal. So and I don't even know if we mentioned this. You're on Lake Gogebic, right?
Yep.
Did I say that properly? Which is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and
Correct.
It's kind of known for the perch. I know Bro's been out there, talked a lot about it. The Trampies, Tyler and Sarah, Sportsman's Journal TV, they go out there and catch some really big ones. What else is in that lake? Is it known for any other species?
Years ago, it was really a really, really populated walleye lake. The walleyes were one of the top destinations there during the summertime. Early ice and late ice, right before season closes, the walleye fishing is still really good. Those fish will hang around the shallow weeds. For a few years, that was kind of down in the dumps, kind of between over harvest and just bad years where ice out was happening right during the opener. They're definitely rebounding over the last 2 or 3 years. We've seen a lot more numbers and a lot more legal sized fish now. You're allowed 5 walleyes over 15 inches. So there's no upper slot on them. It's just 5 over 15. And we're starting to run into, the last couple of years, we've seen a lot of 12 inchers, and last year was a lot of 14 and a half. So now we're getting a lot of 16 to 17 inch fish.
That your class has finally made it there.
Yep.
It's awesome.
But there are still some dinosaurs running around in there. Last year, I know of 3 different 33-inch walleyes that were caught and released out of there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to catch one.
Those fish were probably older than I was.
Wow.
That's so Justin, St. Croix Pro, what's your favorite St. Croix for jigging on the ice or dead sticking? What would you use?
So we use a lot of jaw jackers or automatic hook setters, which I know you Minnesota guys are
We can't use them.
Not yet. I heard that might be changing. But
Oh.
so for those, I like to use the new panfish rod. The 36-inch rod is really good. Prior to that, I used a lot of the Mojo Ice and 36-inch.
That's this one here.
Yep.
That reel rocks, doesn't it?
It does, because you can leave them out. You don't have to bring them in the house. You know, that's one of those reels you can leave it. You can leave it in your snowmobile trailer, and you go out the next day, and the drag works. It's not gelled up at all. You know, the grease is really good in there.
Yeah, I love this rod. It was perfect for that. And those perch fight like freight train out there, and that soft tip, you know, you could rip their mouth. That soft tip kept them pinned on the hook. But I'm really liking that handle too, the EVA handle. You don't freeze to it.
Yep.
And it's a 500 size on that combo, but it has that 800 size spool, so you don't get your line too tight in there. I think it's a really cool design for reels. I think St. Croix hit it out of the park with that rod.
They really put some thought into it, and in all areas that you need to for an ice reel. You know, between the low temperature grease they put in there, it's a pretty good setup for the price.
Well, over here I'm using and you're familiar with these iFish Pros.
Yep.
I love these things, and you know, we can't have an automatic hook setting thing, but I also like this Deadeye. It's got that it's carbon, and then it's glass at the tip.
Yep. Yeah, that's a perfect dead stick rod. When I'm jigging for the perch, I kind of got into the Scandic last year.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a full carbon blank, and as you know, the perch on Gogibic, for as big as they bite really light. I mean, they'll come up and just melt the bait. And with that full carbon blank, you'll feel it, and the tip is still sensitive enough that you'll actually see it hit as well. But I remember the first time when I got to try one out, me and my buddy Tom, we were out testing them, and the first fish came in where we saw them on the Mega Live, and they came in and, you know, did the whole dance where they started chasing our spoons up, and when they hit it, we're like, I looked at Tom, I'm like, holy man, like, you actually felt that thing hit, which normally it's just a sight bite. You know, people use spring bobbers or just noodle sticks with that real bright tip on it.
Yeah.
Which for years, you know, I really like the CCI panhandler when I'm jigging for them, but that Scandic kind of has its home as well.
Yeah, that's really a cool thing.
Justin, what makes Gogibic such a perch factory? Is it that big mud basin like you're talking about, or why do those fish get so big out there?
Yeah, it's a very fertile lake, and my thoughts are, because they don't school up, the competition for food isn't really there. It's so fertile with both bloodworms and mayfly larvae. I mean, you go there during a fly hatch, and sometimes you can't even see the sun. There's so many mayflies out there. But
like Mille Lacs.
Yep. So those fish don't really have to chase food. They're not schooled up chasing down schools of minnows or bait fish. You know, they're just kind of moping around on the bottom, just lazily swimming around and picking up wigglers when they see them. So that's kind of our deal, is just to try to emulate that wiggler, and that Brobug spoon was, I know when I first started using them last year, I was like, man, this thing could be the deal. It just has that shape. You know, another one we used was the eyeball jig, because we've caught them with, you know, perch like eating eyeballs for some reason. It's kind of a fact across the country that, you know, there's days where there's a finicky bite, you throw a perch eyeball on there and they smack their cheeks.
Well, and Sam loves those. The eyes that he come up with for the Brobug spoon are so micro. Yep. Really cool that he found those, and they key in on them. I truly believe even the little wigglers, the mayfly larvae, have those little tiny eyes, and it makes a big difference.
Yep, it just the profile. It even, you know, it just looks like something they eat. And I feel like, you know, if a guy took that crappie and bluegill fishing, they'd have the same success with it, you know. And when you get in those darker water, muddy lakes where bugs are their main forage.
Awesome. That's lots of great information, because I don't think people realize how complicated it is.
Yeah, and that's one thing, you know, I tell people when I'm looking for a good bluegill lake, or a lake I haven't, you know, if I'm gonna go out exploring one day, is I look for those lakes that'll have you know, just like bluegill or one predator, like a largemouth, preferably largemouth, and I check out the Google Maps and I check out the areas and I look for like swampy areas where there's gonna be a good bug hatch that really grows those bluegills up. But then you need that predator like a largemouth to kind of maintain the population, because if they, they'll stunt if there's too many of them. But so I look for those darker water, real buggy looking lakes.
I love it.
Alrighty, it's about halfway through the show here, so we're just going to remind everyone about our prize pack we got tonight. Bunch of Bro's favorite Northland items in there. We got some of those Bro Bug spoons, some of the new Super Glow.
Look at that.
Bunch of Bro's favorites. So we got that. We got some swag from Visit Bemidji, a sweatshirt, and a little stuffed animal, Paul and Babe there. And then, of course, the Bro Roadshow mug and hat. And finally, Nick Cox is giving away a 6-inch synthetic ultra today. So to get entered into win the giveaway, make sure to like, comment, and share the show. And Brooke will be picking out a winner towards the end of the show here.
Also, Amped Outdoors battery and charger.
Yep.
30 amp hour.
Biggest giveaway of the season so far.
I know, that's a mountain of stuff. I mean, this is someone's going to have a full mailbox. They're going to have to park their truck bed out there.
Yep. So Justin, how are you using Mega Live to catch fish out in Michigan there?
So a lot of times when we're doing the perch is we'll scout for them with it. So we'll go check some areas that that we generally like to fish, and I'll set that thing out to 100 feet and I'll just scan around and check the bottom. And because they don't school, we're just looking for some sort of fish traffic on the bottom.
Yep. They're like walleye out there.
You'll see the walleyes out there, smallmouth, whitefish. You can kind of tell where they are. The walleye actually will be off the bottom more than the perch will.
Yeah, so the perch are like walleyes.
If we scan around and we see fish 5, 6, 7 feet off the bottom, those are usually the walleyes, which is kind of odd in that lake. Most people think they're kind of bottom crawlers, but on Gogebic they tend to suspend out there. The perch will hang down at the bottom, so we just scan around looking for those fish on the bottom. And if we see more than 3 or 4 fish, we know it's a spot where they're moving around. It's almost like they have highways out there where I don't know if it's some sort of current seam, but the fish will kind of travel through the same area, each day. And if you can find that highway, it's usually pretty productive. So we'll run it in down mode when we're inside the shack and fishing, so you can see 20 feet on each side.
So it's like that.
But the nice thing with the Humminbird is we'll have it in the hole, but we'll have the 2D transducer in the water with it. So when we start to see fish come in, if they're in one of those negative moods, because the fact of the matter with forward sonar is the fish know it's there. On days where they're really feeling it, they won't come in. It's great for finding them, but once you find them, sometimes I'll just shut it off if they're in one of those moods, and I'll just flip it straight to that 2D. So it's nice. I don't have to take anything out of the water. I don't have to make noise. I just swap that sonar right there, and I go from forward sonar to 2D just like that, and it just doesn't skip a beat.
I love that. That was such an eye opener there. That kind of started my quest to figure it out. And Sam and I have always been curious about that, because at times they don't care, but other times they don't like it. But you still want to see them. I mean, you got all these tricks in this machine. You want to watch it. And then so when they start coming in, then you hit pinging stop and then go to 2D when they're in that mood over there.
Yep.
Like you said, they're coming down a cryptic cruising lane, and all of a sudden they show up. You want to be ready. And it's such a light biting fish that fights like a largemouth bass under the ice. It's just, they're so strong.
I've noticed that the sweet spot is like 12 feet. They'll get in, they'll come marching their way in, and once they hit about 12 feet away, then I think they really start to feel that pinging, and that's when they're usually, if it's one of those days, they'll pump the brakes and turn around, or they'll just disappear. But those are the days, like I said, I'll throw that 2D transducer down there and have it ready and waiting, and then just flip the sonar. If they're in one of those days. There are a lot of days where it doesn't matter, and I do have some bluegill and crappie lakes where they won't come near it on any day. It's kind of one of those shallower Lot very, very coffee water. So I don't know if they can just feel that pinging through the sediment in the water or what the deal is, but that lake, they really don't like it. So I'll use it to find them, drill my holes, and then I'll just get out the old Tootie and hop around and hole hop with it.
And I think Humminbird's the only brand that has 2 transducers on their ice pack, and it does, that song doesn't get sung enough. It's been on it for a long time, and with the updates, it's an amazing machine. But you get so much snow there. One thing I noticed, some of the snow piles are taller than the house roofs over there. What's the best mode of how do you get around? It's impossible to drive a truck. What's the best mode of transportation when you're on the lake you're at?
When we're hauling gear and equipment, we use utility machines like Bearcats and Skatniks and stuff like that. A long track snowmobile will get you a long ways out there. I've had days where I've gone out there and pulled out some short tracks, and some people that try getting wheelers out there or any tired machine. And it's like, oh man, you see it coming from a mile away, and it's like, man, I get out the tow strap because you're going to be bailing them out. But definitely long track snowmobiles. You can't go wrong with that any time of year, especially March when things start to thaw out. That's when the lake gets real soupy. But there's still a lot of good ice underneath it. We'll have 30 inches of good ice with 1.5 feet of slop on top. So you want to go out there and fish because that's when them perch are really starting to turn on. You're getting that extra oxygen in the water. You're getting a little bit more daylight down there, and things are starting to wake up a little bit. That's just the fun time of year to fish if you can get past the slush.
Awesome.
What kind of tackle are you using out there to catch these perch?
A lot of, when we're dead sticking, we use a lot of like 4 to 5 millimeter tungsten.
Okay.
So we'll put those on our jaw jackers and our dead sticks. But one thing we've kind of gotten into the last few years is fishing spoons. A lot of people think you just have to go out there and dead stick, but the fact of the matter is that there's days where you'll catch 80% of your fish on a spoon, and it's just kind of a trick of the trade for us that we started using those, and it's been really good for us.
Maybe that bigger Brobug spoon. I bet you that that not just the 1/8, but the 1/4 might work out there because it's just a bigger wiggler.
So I think the ones I was using were 1/16, I believe.
Yeah.
So we're using the smallest one. I saw the 1/8 ounce ones, and I probably will pick up some of those.
And then we had some questions here. Just real briefly on this. You ever use wax worms, and how many wigglers do you put on a hook?
We'll put one wiggler on our dead sticks, but we will load them up on all the hooks on the spoons. Some days what we'll do is we'll put one wax worm on and 2 wigglers, and sometimes they like that. That wax worm is just a little different scent for them. Not too often we've had days where they prefer a minnow or a wax worm, but it can happen.
What do those wigglers look like? I've never seen one before.
I
imagine they wiggle.
They definitely wiggle and they flutter. We were doing a TV show out there one day, and they said if they're 6 foot long, they would rule the world. They are creepy looking.
Well, they look like a mayfly without the wings.
Yep.
The wings are actually small and soft, like their parachute hasn't come out. So they look like a mayfly, but their parachute is still packed. That's what they look.
They kind of have a crustacean type shell on them.
Okay.
They got a harder shell, which when those mayflies hatch in June, all that stuff you see floating on the surface, that's a shell that they're popping out of.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't believe they actually have moles. I think they filter feed. So that's what happens when they hatch. They have no way to eat. So once they pop above the surface, they pretty much fly themselves to death and then they die.
Good thing they don't grow and eat. They might suck blood or something the way they look.
Yeah, they're definitely different looking. I know the first time I ever saw one, I told my buddies I ain't touching that thing. And we threw them on the hooks and started catching perch with them. Like, okay, this is doable.
There's another bait we can't get over here. Are wigglers, and they sell them over by you. You get them in they're in water, and so it's just like minnows and wigglers. And you know what? They work here because you used to be able to get them here. If there's small perch around, don't even put it down there. But also, I noticed over there there's tullabies coming through up high, and maybe some, that's what the walleyes are targeting.
Yep, could be. Yeah, we've had some pretty nice walleyes come in, and when you catch them, like I said, they'll be 7 feet off the bottom, and I know the first couple times like, what in the world is this thing doing up there? And then it just keeps happening and happening. It's just kind of where they hang out.
That's awesome. And so, as far as crappies, when you're fishing crappies on probably not there but other lakes, how do you find them?
Definitely with the forward sonar. I mean, it's the Mega Live. It's such a game changer for locating fish. But generally, I'm looking for deep structure. Most of the lakes around here will have fish cribs in them. If they don't have cribs, we'll look for brush piles or deep weed edges. Anything that where those crappies tend to hang out. But that forward sonar definitely helps you locate them. Doesn't help you catch them all the time. You still gotta know the ropes and figure them out. But it definitely helps track them down.
That's awesome. Well, Justin, thank you for coming on the Bro Roadshow. You're a fountain of information, and could you please throw out some information so people can find you?
Yeah, I have a website. It's justfishupnorth.com, or I have a Facebook page. It's just my name. You can get a hold of me on my Facebook or my email. It's justin@justfishupnorth.com.
Awesome. Well, definitely, it's well worth making the trip there, and I hope we end up coming back there again. That was an absolute blast. A beautiful area, and kind of feel like you're at the top of the world because all that snow, it's just a different look there. And then you got the Porcupine Mountains not too far away. Really, really good. We were really glad to have you on there. So thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
So, Sam, now it's time to get to the nitty gritty. It was great to have these guests on there, but now we got to talk about stuff here. As far as tungsten is incredibly popular, and Northland Fishing Tackle has several new tungsten baits.
Yep.
Can you tell people about them? And I know these would work.
Yep.
Over in Gogebic.
So the newest one is the flat fry. And I wonder if I got one sitting around here. I do. The flat fry, and it's flat for a few different reasons. Biggest one is it hangs flat. It's got a 90-degree hook in it. It's a custom-made hook that's got a nice long gap on it, so it works great with plastics, but it sits flat. It also has a flat top. I wish my camera would focus a little better.
Oh, I think I have one.
That helps it reflect sonar and gives it some scoot in the water. And then finally, it's got a flat black back, and that allows you to place plastics up against it really nice. So again, some 3D eyes, just a really good bait, and we really like it on those pressure bodies of water. That's why one of the reasons we developed it.
Here's a trick. Look at that.
Bug or the mud bug and the gill getter, and those are angled eyes, so those hang at an angle, which is great because panfish feed up, but sometimes those fish want something that's hanging perfectly horizontal. So that's the flat fry. We also have the mud bug right there and the gill getter. And the gill getter and the mud bug have that angled hook. And you are the one that kind of taught me all about this, is when it sits on the angled hook and fish feed up, they're always getting the hook end of the jig first, which you get a lot better hookups that way. You fish fast, and up here when we're always fishing in the mud and fishing out those fish that are eating bugs and stuff, just like the stuff Justin's doing out east, that's a really good imitation. So a couple different variations. All three are custom made molds. So you're going to only find them at Northland. There's other companies out there that just buy public molds and decorate them themselves, and that's kind of the cheap way to do tungsten. But we really pride ourselves on the quality of our tungsten. It's all 97%. And then, of course, we got the custom shapes and whatnot. So, yeah. What do you?
I love that
one.
And the eyes, these super micro eyes. If you drop an Aquaview, and I drop Aquaviews probably more than anybody, love Aquaviews, and with the reel on the back. But if you look over at another hole where you got that down, the first thing you see are the eyes. And I think that draws in fish. And I have a lot of people like catching big jumbo perch, and the eyes on the bro bug were hit, and it still has a slender profile. If you look at it in the package, it looks fat. You take it out, it's thin, looks just like a wiggler, and those eyes are hit. But on those spoons or on those jigs right there, we just showed you, they show up on your electronics extremely well. But then also on the spoons, I was just up at Red, and I had extreme success on the Super Glow coffin spoon. That was really good today, and that was really good. Just pounding the bottom. I'd lift it up when I seen a fish.
Yep.
Also, the glass buckshot. This was a real player. That little red glow one was hot, and you think red, pink, right?
Those two spoons are really great for two different, or for the same reason, is they both have really unique sounds. So the coffin spoon has that brass rattle like a traditional buckshot, but then it has the addition of that kicker tail, which gives it that really loud noise. And then the glass rattle of the glass buckshot has a really unique and interesting vibration in the water, and I think it's different than anything else out there. So yeah, those are two of my favorites.
Well, this was really hot up at Red, and typically I'm using pink or I'm using gold, but these perch patterns rock up there, and I think it's because there's so many young of the year perch in the water. All these little minnows going by are perch, and I think that makes a huge difference is having those with. So make sure to get some glass buckshots, and make sure a couple different sizes, and you'll be sitting in good. So I got to tell you, I had a chance to try these Fish Monkey gloves, and these are Stealth Dry Tech. They're strange looking. They're really cool. They almost look like DC or Marvel comic kind of thing, the Nightcrawler, right? But they got PVC grip in them, and the fingers, your fingers come out, but they got magnetic stays that are super strong. I could take this glove and I could put it up against my truck and it sticks. Well, that tells me my truck is really has metal under there. It's not all Bondo anyway. But that is the Stealth Dry Tech Sherpa glove. And when you roll this out, it's really soft and warm. It's got Thinsulate, plus it's got insulation 400 on the palm, and 200 or 400 on the top, 200 on the palm. So definitely check it out. Catch the Monkey, Fish Monkey. And then you'll notice I'm still wearing it from earlier today. I have my AFCO Reaper hoodie. These things rock, and they have a face shield here. And it was nice out, but still, when you're on a machine, you want to cover up your face. And the AFCO Reaper hoodies are super popular. And then another thing, flip styles. Pop-ups are great. I love them. It's a social thing, and Sam and I talk about this all the time. We love the Otter pop-ups, and they're insulated. They're great for photo shoots, and you can fit a lot of people in them. But I'm still a flip style guy, and I think people got to look at the flip styles they offer, because their Otter flip styles have a nice side door, a front door, and you can see it right here. And yeah, I'm using my sled now, but look at how sweet these are. And they flip up. If you're going to move 100 feet away, you don't have to pack it. You just flip it and go. And there's a side door. These are made, and like I say, as far as Fish House, you don't sell them at the end of the year. The pros don't sell these. We keep them because they're awesome. It's like a permanent house. It's a really cool thing, and so they're not disposable like you might think some companies can be, because you see like tons of them for sale. Nobody wants to sell them, and if you do, they sell fast because they hold their value. But yeah, definitely check out the Otter flip style houses. I know everybody loves the Vortec with a big front door, but their flip styles rock. You got to check them out.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of the flip style. I've always been a flip guy. I've had my Otter Lodge for probably 4 or 5 seasons now, and I love it because it looks like it's brand new. The poles are tough, the sled's tough, the canvas is tough. It's built to last and be a kind of a forever house. So Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Otter. I run the Lodge with the bench seat. I just like it because you can spread your stuff out. Plenty of room for me and my wife in there. So I'll be a Lodge sled guy through and through.
Absolutely. I got the one man cottage, and they have a smaller one than that, but the cottage is nice. If you put a tray in there, you can add that jump seat. And Heather and I each have a jump seat if we're just bucket hopping. So we always have Otter stuff with us, and you got to check out this. Their lights have dimmers. I mean, this is tricked out stuff. I mean, I love their stuff, and that's why I use it. And everybody I put in an Otter has a great day. And I think they're lucky too. But
All the accessories they have are really nice. All little cargo nets and whatnot. It really makes a portable homey. I know, right before we bought ours, we were kind of debating with getting a smaller skid house. And then we ended up getting the Lodge, and we had really no intentions for that smaller skid house anymore because it was so great to fish in all the time. Stays warm, just need a little buddy heater. Really solid house. So,
well, and a lot of people ask, what kind of Northland tackle do I use on the iFish Pro when you're using a dead stick? And I would say one of the biggest, most used ones that I've seen is the 4-inch fry jig. It's got a single hook, extremely popular, but I'm seeing a trend of people using just a regular spoon with a treble hook and not being shy using it. You can dorsal hook a minnow on a small spoon, and I don't think they're going to be afraid of it. We've been using the little glass buckshot even with a dorsal hooked minnow, and it depends on the lake you're on. Everything changes. If you're going to be up at Red, you got darker water. If you're on Lake of the Woods, darker water. But if you're on Leech or Cass or Winnie had a 26-foot Secchi disc reading this summer. So those fish can see
clear.
Really clear. So lighten up in morning and evening. If you don't have any cover, what do you expect the fish to do? They're going to be super scared out there. And if there's any traffic, get away from it. Even a car going or a truck going by on those big bodies of water, scare the fish away. And in this ultra clear water, if you over drill, the fish will leave the whole area. So drill, have your holes ready before dark, and then come back to them and drill out other spots in case you end up on a dud. You look at Winnie itself as 387 humps, and Leech probably more. I mean, in miles and miles of structure. So we had a question about rod length, and I use a lot of 28 to 30s. It depends on if you're inside a house. There's a 32 right there. That's my outside eye rod from St. Croix, and got a little 500 reel. But this is great for roving on the ice. And they have a 36 in the Panfish series that I was talking about with Justin. But I like that green tip. You could really see it against the snow, and all stainless steel ice. But look at that. So long rods, they have them, So, and if you get too long a rod, just bring your open water St. Croix. So, Sam, we're about to give away a package here pretty soon. Could you tell people and tease them again with this prize package?
We got a few more minutes left, so a reminder to like, comment, and share the show. That'll get you entered in to win this sweet prize pack. We got some of Bro's favorite tackles, some Bro Roadshow swag, some swag from Visit Bemidji, and of course, a Razor Synthetic Ultra and an amped battery. So make sure to like, comment, and share, and we'll be picking out a winner towards the end of the show here.
I hope you have a big mailbox, whoever wins this. It's kind of like, I know there's a lottery, but out there that's super giant, but I think this would take a second to that $500 million that they're giving away. And don't forget VX chip, load up on Gamakatsu hooks. Gamakatsu is what I'm using all the time when I'm up at Red. And of course, you see I have Sunline. I'm going light. And when I was on Gogebic, I had 1 and 2 pound test, and I'm fighting these big monsters. And when I was on Red today, I had 3 to 5 pound test, and it made a big difference. The fish were firing on it. But before we pick out a name here, I want to thank Chesterburg Toyota for being on hand the whole Bro Roadshow this season. And this is our last show of ice. We're going to have other stuff coming up. And also Bemidji Sports Center, four-wheelers and tricked out sleds. You got to stop there, and you're going to love it. Talk to Shane over there. And if you're in Chesterburg, say hi to Brian. They always have hot coffee on. Visit Bemidji. If you're going to come up this way, talk to them. Check it out. Look at their site. Brady and the gang there are great supporters of the Roadshow, and make sure to check out what they got. And thank them for supporting the show. And then, Sam, do we have a winner?
We have a winner. So tonight's winner, Bro Roadshow prize pack, bunch of Northland tackle, Razor auger, amped battery, Visit Bemidji stuff. Bro Roadshow stuff is going to be John Ace. I think that's correct. AASE. So
congratulations, John. I hope
out.
you got a pickup bed for this. And that Razor's got wings, so Get ready to razor some holes. Congratulations. That was a ginormous prize pack, and I'm glad that we had it. So congratulations again, John Ace. And so I also want to thank, for being on the show, Nick Cox, president of Razor Augers. He's been a great supporter of the Bro Roadshow. Matt from Amped Outdoors. And if you don't know Amped, you got to get to know them. They're the best. And all the companies that we have the best customer service ever. And, of course, my co-host Sam Larsen, who's probably going to go win something somewhere again here. And I hope he has a great ice season. Brooke Drace for helping produce the show. And Heather Brosdahl for creative marketing. And everybody, I want you to have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. Be safe and follow my adventures on my social media platforms. I'd love to have you come and check out what I got going on. And if you have any questions, definitely send them my way. But we'll be back in the spring. And anybody looking for a boat, definitely stop in at Ray's Sports and Marine right in Grand Rapids, or they got dealerships all around. You better order that boat because they got to build it or they got to have it in stock. And Matt has batteries for those boats. So Lund Boats and Mercury Marine, you got to get on it because it won't be long, and we're going to have Rainy River coming up. So everybody, thanks for watching, and good luck on the ice. Be safe and check your way out there. See you later, Sam.
Unless there's at least 4 inches of ice, and that's with the safety. You gotta love it. The eyeballs.
Oh, wow. That's the biggest one yet. Big jumbo perch.